it's very difficult to get a reliable answer from scientific methods. It is also the case that the very best way to get reliable answers is through scientific methods. So it's almost a little bit of a paradox. And yet I think the real problem here and the fundamental thing is that our expectations of science are misaligned with what science can actually do. We want to do one study that tells us everything about anything. You want to do one study that asks 1,000 people what they ate for breakfast and then say, okay, now science has identified the healthiest breakfast there is. Well, you just can't do it. That's not how science works. I mean, first of all, we have a lot of issues, which is the first just begins with, okay, so in this instance, what do you mean by healthiest breakfast? What are we even trying to get at? And then once you even decide on that definition, well, how are we going to measure it? And is that measure reliable? And even more important, is that measure something that can be generalized out to real life and to the things that we really care about? Because when it comes down to it, we do these studies that are really giving us an answer to a very specific question, which is, under these circumstances and this situation on these days with these people, what is true? But we want that answer to be able to be generalized to all of us and to every situation. And that's just sort of asking too much. And so what we need to do is recognize these limitations or these constraints that science faces so that we can, design and carry out the studies that we need to answer the questions that we really have. But also, I think it's really important to have the humility to understand and to recognize that a lot of answers and a lot of results are not, largely generalizable, and that we need to be, less quick to generalize everything out.